don't really know how I want to start this. This is kind of like an informal podcast.
We just started just like this.
Let's just start it just like this.
Hello.
To give some context, I honestly didn't even want to record this today because I woke up in a funk. I'm like mad. I'm pissed off. I got a lot of stuff going on today, this week in general. And I wanted like the stars to align and be in the right mood and mindset to record this one.
Yep.
We got like an ad going on for...
I don't think anyone can see that.
Yeah.
But the stars never align.
The stars never align.
No.
And like this podcast is like a subset of the Savage Perspective podcast that you and I are doing here. On this one, we're going to call it The Work. And the whole idea being to like give people more behind the scenes as to like the business operations, the entrepreneurial journey, just everything we got going on. And the stars never align with what we got going on. So recording this when I'm not ready for it is only sensible.
It's real.
You know, it's
unedited, raw reality.
Raw reality. So, welcome to The Work, a subset, a bonus episode of The Savage Perspective. We should probably do like a little intro. I mean, I'm assuming most people listening to this probably know who I am. They probably know who you are.
Maybe.
But maybe we should both do like a little intro just to cover our bases.
Yeah, rock and roll.
So, you start, man. You're the guest.
My name is Greg Mahler. I go by Keto Greg more commonly on social media, and I have been in the ketogenic bodybuilding space for almost 11 years, kind of the same time frame you have been in. Done several competition preps. Robert was my coach, mentor, bodybuilding partner, friend, employer, the whole works. And here we are, just digging in to all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah. I mean, quick little bio on me. Robert Sikes, ketogenic natural bodybuilder for 10, 11 years now. I've been keto, same as you. Started Keto Savage back in 2016, launched Keto Brick in 2018. We've got the apparel. We need to do an episode on The Work here where we talk about all the different umbrellas of the business and just what all we've got our hands in. But you came here on site to work with us, 8 months ago, something like that?
Would have been mid-May. Just did some remote work.
Yeah, you did some
for
remote work.
a couple of years, actually, prior to. But
so you've been with us here almost a year then? On site.
Coming up in May, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you're kind of like my catch-all. Like, I throw everything at you. You're like, I don't know what the official title to that would be, though, because it's not a secretary. Like, a lot of people think that, but that's not it at all. Like, I'm throwing stuff at you, and I'm just, like, trusting you to roll with it, and you do.
Yeah.
You're like my right-hand man.
Administrative assistant, but that's the secretary, right?
Yeah, I don't think you're an administrative assistant. You're like the man with smaller triceps.
No, I probably wouldn't say that. I would say
Probably wouldn't say that.
Probably the guy with bigger calves.
I'd give it that to you. You've got bigger calves and a better mustache.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But I want this podcast to be more laid back and informal, and just raw. I guess that's the best way to put it. Like the work. You know, every single day we're coming here, we're chipping away at a task, and I'm gonna start the daily vlogging back up whenever I have time. So who knows when that might be.
Knock on wood.
But there's so many things that I'm like wanting to talk about. And since I'm not daily vlogging, it's not getting documented. So I feel like if we do a relatively consistent weekly recap, talking about things we got cooking, things that we're working on, things that we're looking forward to, I can kind of just document that journey. Because a lot of the people that I'm talking to, like when people come out and visit, they want to know the depth of things that doesn't really get spoken elsewhere. So we can just kind of peel the curtain back, lift up the hood, and just talk about everything we got rocking.
Yeah.
Of which there are many things.
And there could even be time where we just go off on a tangent because something's a hot topic online, or there's some type of feud going on between people, or, you know, it's just something that's in the air.
Yeah. We could talk about things. We could talk about rants and raves. We can talk about business workings. We could talk about client stuff. You're a coach. I'm a coach. We get a lot of similar client-based questions. Also, too, since we've transitioned the podcast to Spotify, I can actually see comments in there much more easily. So if people listen and then drop a question or comment in Spotify, we can actually see those and then make whatever their question is a conversation topic for the next recording. So on the rants, raves, and hot topics note, what is the hot topic now? Is there anything in the news or media that is relevant that we should talk about? In any space, business,
I mean, most of the headlines are
nutrition.
Political, which I'm not a huge fan of talking about. Nutrition-wise, I think keto is always in the limelight. Carnivore, keto, all that kind of stuff's always in the spotlight, and it's getting a bad rap. It's getting a good rap. It's just always people are
getting
always
a rap,
feuding over it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, carnivore is super hot right now, which is funny because like when I look at how I've eaten for the past 10, 11 years doing keto, like it's more carnivore than a lot of these carnivore, gurus, but I've never considered it or called it carnivore. There's just been all these definitions for things, which is kind of strange to see.
I'm not a huge fan of the people that have to put these concrete barriers on what type of diet you're doing. Like if you find something that works good for you, just do it. If it doesn't conform to an exact description, like some people will say hardcore carnivore is, or the lion diet, for example, is that just beef, salt?
Lion diet's technically beef, water, salt.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. So someone says they want to do the lion diet, but then they add in chicken. And now someone just gets on their ass so hard, like, you're not doing the lion diet anymore. You can't add chicken. Well, okay, call it whatever you want to call it. But if it works for you, just do it. Like, you don't have to confine to these little
What if
boxes,
people got onto you for eating, like knowing that you're Keto Greg 80 on Instagram? What if people point their finger and wag at you for? Anything specifically?
Everyone just thinks I'm on like TRT or something.
Yeah.
Or gear or something, They don't get on me. They don't really get on me for nutritional stuff. They just don't believe that you can achieve awesome things.
You'd have pretty crazy high test levels naturally.
Yeah.
I was talking to a good buddy of mine last night, Adam, and he was saying that like he's natural too. And his level, he's not a bodybuilder, but his levels were like 800, 900. And then he moved and he got really stressed with work and business and kids and everything. And they dropped to like 400 or 500. And then he's just removed a lot of stress from his life. And now they're back up to 800 naturally.
That's crazy.
And I'm looking at my life and I'm never high testosterone. Like I'm typically like 400, 500, 600. I think I've seen mine as high as 700. Mm-hmm. I've seen it as low as 89 when I was 3.9%. But I feel like my Achilles heel is stress and sleep. Like if I just simply didn't have stress or slept more, I bet I'd see mine go up to 800, no problem. Because I do everything else right.
Yeah, but you'd be so bored.
Yeah. Then that's like an interesting topic there in and of itself, man. Like people, we're always trying to optimize for things. And I know 100% that if I wanted to truly be the best bodybuilder I could be, then I would probably not own a business. I would probably not be as stressed as I am. I would sleep much more. I mean, you look at professional, IFBB pro bodybuilders, like they sleep and they train and they eat. That's literally all they do.
That's all they do.
That's all they do.
Their day revolves around eating, sleeping, working out, and recovering.
Yeah. And I want to be the best natural ketogenic bodybuilder in the world. But I know that I'm going to be selling myself short by being as stressed as I am with the business. But I don't know that I could justify not running the business to be a better bodybuilder because I love that of my life too. And I feel like life's too short to be single dimension. Like you have to be multifaceted. And I feel like I like the idea of mastery and doubling down on one thing and being the best you can be at it, but not at the necessary exclusion of other things that you also view important. Like I love being a dad, but if I wanted to be the best businessman I could be, I wouldn't come home at 4 so that I could spend time with my kid.
Yeah.
But to me, that's not a price that I think is worth paying.
So you have to multitask. There's no way around it.
And there's not, like, people throw balance into the equation. They say you got to have a work-life balance, and I've always said balance is bullshit, and I stand by that because I don't feel like my life is balanced at all. I mean, like last night I was here at 9 p.m. working on fighting fires in the freaking kitchen, but I feel like when you're balanced, it becomes too easy to just be subpar in everything that you're doing. And I don't want to be subpar in anything I'm doing. My biggest fear in life is mediocrity, man. Mm-hmm. What's your biggest fear in life?
Just FOMO, I guess. Fear of missing out. Fear of not doing something, chasing a dream, following a goal, putting as much as you can into every single day.
I feel like you quitting your comfortable life in Minnesota.
Yeah, it was comfy.
And come
it was
down
cush.
here.
Yeah, I had it. It was pretty good. It was pretty cush. So just uprooted, sold my house, moved south 900 miles or however many 100 miles, and here we are.
Yep. Was it a worthwhile decision?
Yeah, so far.
So far, so good?
We'll see. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood, man.
Yep.
We don't have any wood around here, but knock on some steel. I think that's good, man. Like I don't really keep in touch with many people from high school, but when I talk to some of my peers that I went to school with, many of them have not taken the entrepreneurial route. And not that you have to be an entrepreneur by any means, but like a lot of them feel complacent in where they're at. and like just hearing them speak, it's like that's what I'm scared of. Like that's what I don't.
They're
want.
just not. They're just not. They're living. They're not thriving.
Yeah.
They're alive, but they don't thrive. Yeah.
And I could literally, I don't want to die tomorrow, but I could die tomorrow and feel like I didn't really hold anything back. And I feel like that's a good thing, you know? Like I'm excited about being able to confidently say that. There's a lot more that I want to do, man.
Yeah. And I was just going to say, if you wake up in the morning and you have things to look forward to, and you like are excited to get up every single morning. I know so many people that just hate getting out of bed. They hate going to work. They hate their job. They hate their boss. They hate their family life. They hate everything. They hate where they live. Like that's why wouldn't you change some of that? You're not a tree. You can do something different.
I was at a Bible study the other day. We're doing like an early morning, 6 o'clock on Thursdays with the church I'm at. And it's cool because it's all guys that are in a similar chapter in life. Like they're all my age roughly. They've all got, not all of them, but most of them have like a kid or 2 or 3. And most of them aren't entrepreneurs, but many of them are. And they were talking about like sin and temptation. And I was listening to them, and it's like, I mean, I've got sin and temptation. I think everybody does in some extent. But like the things that I did in life that were typically categorized as sin by society were all done when I was bored, when I was complacent, when I was comfortable, when I wasn't excited about waking up and tackling the day. And I feel like, as they say, an idle mind's the devil's playground, so to speak. But so many people go through life just floating with no direction, intention, or purpose. And when you've got that, like you just freaking go, man. Like I mean, I'm like any other guy to some extent. Like I lived a relatively normal life, looked at porn and all that stuff like these guys talking about. But like the moment I started the business and said, okay, this is what demands my time and attention 10 years ago, it's like none of that other superficial nonsense is even, there's no place for it. Because like I got things that excite me more than that.
There's just so many things that above and beyond that.
Yeah, I think the same is true with nutrition. Like when you look at temptation in certain foods, like all these, you know, fancy, hyper-palatable, processed, sugary foods, like that excitement is so short-lived, but people don't have something grander than that to look forward to, and that's just all they fixate on, and that's what leads people astray. You know, it's crazy, all these different parallels in life with everything, with entrepreneurship, with nutrition, health, fitness, relationships, parenting, like all of it is rooted in the same underlying concepts that are just true. Yeah. You know, which is why I kind of like this whole rebrand of the podcast, like diving into these other things that are more than just one thing, because all the principles apply across the board.
Yeah. Pretty much any aspect of life.
Any aspect of life. Any aspect of life. So on an entrepreneurial switch of gears here, we definitely need to make a podcast episode that just kind of accurately breaks down the company and all the different legs of the company. But what are some things that we're working on? Because I want to give the people that listen to this subset podcast, the work podcast, like a definite peek behind the curtain. So what do we got cooking that the general mass does not know about?
Man, there's so much going on. In this building alone, there is just a flood of ideas.
Well, one insider tip, this is going to go live on Friday, which means the people listening to this podcast right now are going to be the first to know that we're relaunching Carnivore Cake Pop this Sunday.
Spilled the beans.
The 16th at noon Central.
Yes.
So Cake Pop is back in town.
Yes. Knock on wood that nothing happens between now and the time this launches.
Yeah.
This podcast.
I feel like we'll be good.
I think we're good.
I think we're good. But man, that's a perfect example of just things not going like you'd planned. Okay. And like, I don't want to give too much detail because I don't want to bore people with the nuances of things. But yeah, this is a constant, you know, journey of pivoting, adapting, and thinking on the fly, and having, like, since I started the business, I got exceedingly good at just being able to recognize potential mistakes or things that could happen, could go wrong, and then making contingency plans for when they do, because they will absolutely go wrong. That's just what's going to happen.
Yep. So in regard to Carnivore Cake Pop, that has been the most heavily requested relaunch of all flavors ever. And it sold out in record time. Primal Fudge sold out quicker, but I think it was because we kind of paved the way with Carnivore Cake Pop, and it really blew a lot of people's minds, and they wished they had ordered more. So I think when Primal Fudge popped open, that just drove that much more traffic to it. But anyways, Cake Pop, everyone has been asking for Carnivore Cake Pop. When is it coming back? When's it coming back? When's it coming back? I get DMs. The Keto Brick Instagram gets DMs. We get Facebook messages, emails. I mean, text messages, everything.
And that's that's our lowest carb, highest protein brick by far. 45 protein, 3 grams total carbs.
Total carbs, not even net carbs. That's total carbs. And I just have a feeling it's going to just disappear so quick this time.
I hope so.
And we had plans. This is a little peel back behind the curtain. We had plans to bring this one back
last month,
much sooner than it's coming back. So apologies to everybody who's been asking, and we've been trying to keep you updated. It's coming back soon. It's coming back soon, early 2025. We're bringing it back in February. Sorry, it's coming back in March. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. Delayed ingredients, issues with our packaging process, temperature regulation. I mean, there's like how many different...
Lots of variables.
A lot of sticks in the spokes, yeah.
And people, like, from the outside looking in, and this is another thing I think this would be good for with this podcast is, like, the why behind what we're doing and the timing of things. Because,
because people don't know.
People don't know.
They're really only privy to the information we put out there.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that we're working on they don't know.
Yeah, and, like, I don't want to make it forward-facing of, like, oh, our ingredients got delayed, oh, the weather... I mean, like, people don't want to hear complaints.
Yeah.
Like
the weather, too. That was the thing. We had a blizzard. We were supposed to receive... What we were supposed to receive? It was either kitchen materials or ingredient. I forget.
I think both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But got guys here on the clock ready to produce. You don't have ingredients on time, then it throws all that off. Then it pushes everything else back like a doctor's office. Mm-hmm. And then if we assume we're going to get X number of pounds of protein in good, usable condition... and it comes off the back of the truck, and there's damaged boxes and punctured bags and containers, then we're thrown under the bus in the very last minute. So now we can only produce less product, and it's just a show.
It is. It is. So, like, and I got to keep my guys busy because, I mean, they need hours. It's like if there's no production taking place, like I have to pull some random things that need to be done but are not typically considered high priority and just give them hours, you know? So we've done some facility upkeep and maintenance around here. We got a bunch of doors. Like,
We've got some projects.
We've had some projects. Like Rigel is really good at slamming doors into the sheetrock and busting holes in the sheetrock. So we've patched all those little holes and painted over that. I got to put those little bumpers up now so we're not using dumbbells because I need those dumbbells back. But yeah, little things like that. Let's talk about the apparel for a second. The apparel, I feel like I was looking through my books the other day, reconciling all my accounting stuff, and we launched the apparel in 2019, which honestly is just sad. It's sad that we've launched that business, that leg of the business in 2019. It's currently 2025, and I've still not really sunken my teeth into it and focused on it like I should. It's always getting the back burner because the bricks have always been the priority. And like the cacao crisis happened, I had to find a solution to that. The tallow's been a whole learning curve in and of itself. The new flavors, all that good stuff. But like, I think we're getting to a point where we can start focusing more on the apparel, which I'm super excited about because we're just gonna kind of rebrand that entirely, change the game on how we're doing it. And I think that'll be a really good creative outlet for us. That's just outside the food space. Hopefully the margins are much better because there's no margins on the bricks. And then we can just make that something that, you know, gets the attention it deserves.
Yeah. Yep. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. It's going to be good.
Whole new website, whole new product line, whole new, well, we don't want to spill everything, I guess.
Yeah. It's going to be good, though. It's going to be good. That will hopefully launch in its entirety for sure this year. I just don't know when. Yeah, I just don't know when it's going to drop this year. We got the competition, which we need to start promoting that. But we got the competition in September. Registration's now open for that. naturalstatesavages.com. So that'll be good. You're doing that show.
I'm going to do that show. Yep.
We got everything dialed in with the polygraph person, the
photographer,
tanning, the photographer,
the
venue, the hotel. What else we got? The host gym. There's a whole nother conversation about that host gym, but we'll save that for another day too.
Oh yeah.
Don't want to go too far behind the curtain there. But yeah, that's going to be awesome, man. I'm super stoked about that. We haven't really promoted that yet, but people, I feel like competitors, and I'm guilty of this too as a competitor, but I'll wait until like the last minute to register. Yeah. And now that I'm a promoter, I would really appreciate competitors signing up and registering before the last minute. Now knowing what it's like being on the receiving end, whenever I do a show going forward, I'm going to register as early as possible. Yeah. That way the promoters got more gauge as to what the, competitor count's going to be, and they can plan accordingly. Because there's a lot of costs that the promoter has to fork out up front in hopes that there's going to be enough competitors to at least break even.
But as a competitor, it gives you a sense of anxiety. Once you register, you're like, oh shit, it's real. Like,
but I think that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. But so like I'm registered for your show, and I'm also registered for one in Wisconsin 2 months prior, or a month and a half prior. And there's another one or maybe two kind of in between those that I'm eyeing up, but I haven't registered for. And I don't know why, but I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to wait and see. I can always wait and register in a little while. I can see how the first show goes, then I can register. But you're right. Like, why are you waiting? Like,
I feel like a lot of competitors, and I'm guilty of this, so I can speak to it, but like you want to wait until you feel confident you're going to look show ready before you actually pay the money and register. Because once you register, it's on the calendar, it's real. But I feel like you would look more show ready if you proactively put that on the calendar and you knew that it was going to happen no matter what.
So, I mean, that could be a metaphor for life. Like if you don't do something, if you don't want to commit to something until you feel ready, you're never going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, or you're just going to procrastinate, and it's going to be way down the road or in the future.
I'm reading this book right now. I've referenced it a few times. 10x is easier than 2x. Basically, the point being that linear growth in this 2x, kind of approach is more competitive because there's more people trying to like gradually stair step in life, and it's more taxing because you just basically have to increase overall workload to see that 2x return on investment. Whereas a 10x exponential growth mindset forces you to do something that you currently don't feel confident in or capable of. But once you make that shift, you have to redefine your identity and look at things through a different lens. But when you do that, you get so much more excited about the potential. And that excitement is what allows you to see opportunities in places you wouldn't previously have been able to. So I was talking to the tribe the other day. It's like, look, if you have never competed before, the idea of stepping on stage and competing in your skivvies is incredibly scary, daunting,
it's
and
crazy.
Totally outside your comfort zone. But that goal is so much easier to obtain than to, I just want to lose 10 pounds and fit in my dress better. Because while that could be great, that's not really like scary or exciting or causing an identity shift. But if you've got that goal of like, hey, I'm going to, step on stage, I'm going to take it to that level, then you can't help but be excited about it and forced to re-identify it with who you are as a person. And once you make that shift, it's honestly easier to reach that goal because then you start adopting all the routines and habits you need to do that exponential growth in a way that you never would have been able to do in that prior version of yourself. Mm-hmm. So I think that's key. So yeah, let people, simmer on that for a bit. And I want to do that with the business. Like I want to have these growth goals that are just wildly beyond what seems rational, but then force myself to just embrace it and then do whatever shift needs to happen to reach it,
Well, they say shoot for the stars, right?
Yeah.
Shoot for the moon.
Shoot for the moon. And if you miss, you'll at least land amongst the stars.
Yeah. So huge goals, huge finish lines, and you can't lose.
Can't lose. Now, in parallel to the competition, we've got a challenge that just started. The Savage Shred 2025.
Yes.
It's kind of a tongue twister. Like if you say Savage Shred,
it's like Savage Shred
5 times pretty quickly, you're going to mess up. Savage Shred. Yeah, you can do it. Anyways, but if the way we got that structure, we did a 6-month transformation challenge. When was that?
That was it went through the holidays. So it ended, I think it ended end of December, did it not?
End of December?
Yeah.
That's right. Because we started the year, with people having peaked. That way they could go through Christmas and New Year's dialed in.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did that. That was a 6-month transformation challenge. And male and female winner both won $5,000 a pop plus a bunch of other free stuff.
Teresa
apparel. and Josh. They looked phenomenal. Everybody that did it was phenomenal. But we're doing another challenge. We're going to make this one a 9-month challenge. It's not transformational in like a transformation contest per se, because we're going to have like the starting photos, the peaking photos, which coincide with the same peak week as my competition. And then we're going to have a reverse diet component factored in that lasts for 2 months after that peak week. So that we kind of incentivize people to go through a reverse diet and make it healthy. So 9 months in total. And that is now open to the public, and people can join the tribe and be a part of that. And again, we're going to put $10,000 up for grabs there, $5,000 to the male winner, $5,000 to the female winner. Again, the tribe votes on those winners. But I'm hoping that with it paralleling the competition, anybody that's dialing in and getting diced for that, challenge, they'll be that much more inclined to be like, all right, let's pull the trigger and just step on stage and do it for real.
Exactly. Because they're going to have access to the tribe community, and the tribe is full of people that are going to be doing the same thing. And they're all super supportive and helpful, and they've all, worked the system to some extent and understand and all that kind of stuff. Plus you get the weekly live calls every Tuesday night. You get to chat with Robert. And then also if you utilize the AI, I mean, that's essentially all of your content and your entire protocol in a database that you can query anytime you want.
Yeah, that'll be good. I think that will be, we learned a lot with this first transformation challenge. I think we've got it more dialed in now, and I think this could be an annual thing because we're going to make the competition an annual thing. So we just might parallel these every year going forward. So excited about that. What else are we excited about? You got some personal things that are exciting if you're at liberty to talk about them.
Like what?
You're not solo anymore, man.
Oh yeah.
Talk about that.
I got a gym partner now, but
what? I'm your gym partner.
Okay, I have a gym partner now of each gender. So
of each gender.
Yeah.
We had a contract signed. You want to talk about that?
That was Caitlin's idea, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing a lovely young lady named Caitlin, and she likes to hit the gym as well. But she knows that I hit the gym most mornings with Robert. We train together. We hit the same muscle group. We have the same workout split. We have kind of just the same training schedule as it goes. So she drafted a contract to how does she word it? To it's shared custody. Is that what it was?
I think shared custody with a 5-day written notice.
Yeah. So her and I can go work out, but we have to let Robert know that I'm going to be bailing out a day next week or in advance or whatever. So it's pretty comical. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And she's super cool. Like we met her originally. You and I were putting posters up at a gym in up north somewhere, up in Rogers, I guess. And she was there doing hamstring curls or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I don't honestly
You don't
want
to give away the whole story.
Don't want to give the whole story. But yeah, y'all hit it off. And that's pretty much how that worked out. Yeah. But she's super cool.
She is.
We've had her at the team day for barbecue.
She eats meat, so she's even better.
Yeah, she's not crazy vegan or anything like that. Nothing against vegans out there. Just probably wouldn't make a good fit for Greg.
No, that would be a clash.
Yeah, that would be a clash for sure. But yeah, she's super cool. What other personal things you got going? Anything else?
Competition prep is big. So
we got to convince her to do the prep, to do the show.
She'd probably be down. I don't think she's super excited about being up in front of a lot of people, but that's
outside
how most people are.
Comfort zone, man.
That's right. I mean, that's
have her listen to this podcast.
First time I did a competition back in 2013ish. Same thing. I was scared beyond belief. But once you get backstage and once you kind of interact with some of those other competitors, the vibe is amazing because everyone's in the same exact situation. They've all made crazy changes to their daily life and their working out and their nutrition. They've all gone through a lot of struggle just to get there, and everyone kind of understands like you're all on the same team. Even though you're competing against each other, if you're a first timer, you're all on the same team. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't think she'd be down for that. But I am. I'm excited to do it. This will be my third ketogenic prep with your guidance. So we're going to try to get shredded-er and leaner than ever and try to steal some shows. So
it'll be good, man. It'll be good. Crystal is getting the itch to compete again, but she's like, 24 weeks pregnant right now. So she's not going to do it just right off the bat.
Well, she could win a transformation challenge if she takes pictures now.
Yeah, she could. She could that for sure. But yeah, it'll be cool. Like we've had to change so many things with her training schedule. We've changed so many things because like she and I were workout partners.
Yep.
And then we had Rigel, and then that kind of put a damper on that. Like we've trained sometimes together, but with him, it's just total chaos. So like she was trying to train before he woke up or while he's taking a nap. So we brought she was waking up super early and coming to the gym here. That didn't really work out. Then we moved some equipment to the house in the garage, and that didn't work out because he would always wake up when she tried to go train. Now I'm leaving earlier 3 days a week so that I can watch him, and then she can come here and train with Ellen, who's also going to do the competition, which is super cool because that kind of incentivizes Ellen to, have a good quality workout partner, go through the right range of motion and movements and do everything correctly.
And I know Ellen loves it.
Yeah.
Like she values that too.
Yeah, and
She's
it's
mentioned
good.
that,
So I'm super excited for her to be able to do that. So she's got 3 dedicated days a week, and then she'll typically train at some point during the weekend as well. But yeah, we're going to have another baby on the way. So I don't know what that's going to do from a training standpoint for her, because she's going to have her hands full.
Yeah.
Times 2.
Times 2.
So
You'll be watching 2 while she trains.
yeah. I haven't really figured out how to breastfeed though. So like I might not be able to pull much weight.
I'm pretty sure they make like little, fake ones you can just kind of hang over your neck or something.
Fake ones. Well, I think it's a compliment really, because like when Ryja was first born and was breastfeeding still, like he would try to latch on to me. And I've never had big pecs. Like that's always been my lagging body part as a bodybuilder. So I think if he's trying to latch on to me, that must mean I've got somewhat developed pecs, right?
Maybe.
I mean, that's a good way to
maybe
look at it.
they're too bald. I don't know.
That could be it too. I don't have much chest hair, man. We'll save the hair removal for another episode.
Yeah, we were talking about
for
that.
competitions.
That'd be a good one.
That'd be a good deep dive episode for sure. But yeah, man, I want these. How long are we in, Chip?
34 minutes.
34 minutes. All right. We're going to try and make these somewhat consistent, roughly every Friday, but there may be a couple weeks where that's not the case based off of travel schedules, conferences, competitions, et cetera, et cetera. But I think this kind of format will be good. We can do a deep dive on things that are happening in the week, things we got coming in the near future. We got the retreat. We'll talk about the retreat.
Yeah, that's big.
We got registration's now open for that too. So we're doing these like quarterly retreats, Savage retreats. And this next one is slated for April 9th through the 13th, I believe, in Kettle Falls, Washington. And I'm doing a collaborative retreat with Bruce McGlynn, who's a professional hunter, kind of teaching people how to hunt. And I'm going to be bringing this nutrition and training component to it. So I'm going to bring my in-body, some weights, and then I'm just going to like kind of tie the knot between being physically fit and being the best hunter you can be, because they go hand in hand.
And nutrition, right?
Yeah, and nutrition. Yeah. I mean, you eat a lot of meat as a hunter typically, so it makes sense that you kind of adapt a diet that philosophizes around that. So I think that's going to be super cool. Bruce is awesome. I've had him on the podcast twice. He's a super good guy. The last retreat we did with Bill was awesome. So I'm excited about those, man. I think those will be. Where's the third one going to be? Any idea?
I don't know. We were kind of brainstorming some ideas, but we didn't really lock anything down.
I got a venue idea.
What's that?
So my cousins own this like antique, like they own their own business too. They're called the Junk Gypsies in Round Top, Texas. Super awesome people, but they've got this little inn that they've got that they rent out. I might do it there in Texas.
Oh, cool.
And then we can find a relevant, speaker for in that general vicinity.
Yeah. So would that be like the fall of 2025?
Probably, but we thought about not doing one third quarter because of the competition,
right,
and then doing the next one like fourth quarter or something.
Okay, so like winter-ish.
Maybe. I still got to work out the details on that one, but I think I'm excited about the retreats.
Yeah, but that'd be cool for wintertime in Texas, because it's not
too
600
cold.
degrees. Yeah,
that'll be good. But yeah, man, we'll do these podcasts. I'm excited about these. I feel like with my normal podcast, I'm talking to a guest. Mm-hmm. And I'm letting them do most talking, and I'm kind of steering the ship, so to speak, and asking them relevant questions. And it's a dialogue, but like they're the highlights. And with this one, it can be like a mutual back and forth between you and me, because you and I are just in here, the interworkings of the business on a daily basis. And so the work, I feel like, is a fitting.
We can just talk through it.
Talk through the work.
Whatever is hot in our minds that time.
Hot in the minds. So for the listeners, let us know what you think about this format. If you've got any questions or things you want us to do a deep dive on, feel free to throw those in the comments, and we will definitely tackle them in all kinds of detail. And I'm excited about this stuff. So
Me too.
It's going to be good.
Rock and roll.
Greg, everybody knows you and where to find you, but for those that don't, where should they go?
Keto Greg 80 on Instagram.
Keto Greg 80 on Instagram. And y'all hopefully know where to find me. Keto Savage, Keto Brick, Keto Bodybuilding, all that good stuff. Till next time, y'all. Ta-ta for now.
Bye.